Hey guys, welcome to the Trash Picture Show. Recently, Disney announced, and not to much my surprise, we are going to be getting Boba Fett in season 2 of The Mandalorian. And it was kind of hinted at the end of the episode Gunslinger, where this kind of spur wearing cloaked figure kind of examines the remnants of the Mandalorian's battle. And a lot of people speculated that it would be Boba Fett. And lo and behold, we are getting Boba Fett, played by Tamara Morrison, who played Django in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, which makes a lot of sense. We're obviously not going to be getting Jeremy Bulloch because he passed away, and it's established canon that he's a clone of Django, so he should look like Tamara Morrison. I'm happy and not happy. It's kind of a double-edged sword. I'm happy because the character is kind of getting a bit more recognition. I've liked the character. I like the revisionist Western elements of Star Wars, whereas Han Solo was always kind of the Shane, the Alan Ladd kind of the Alan Ladd kind of gunslinger who has a dodgy past but has a heart of gold. I always saw Fett as more of a spaghetti western kind of anti-hero, much to the vein of The Man with No Name or even Lee Van Cleef. This kind of grey area, but over the years he is kind of being doubled down in a lot of video games. He's always the guy you pick on the Empire side. So he is obviously an established Star Wars villain, but a lot of people don't like him, and I can understand why, because on the onset he comes across as a vapid kind of character. He just stands in the background and looks cool, but there was something about the kind of mystery to him, and there was that very kind of Leone-esque kind of feel and vibe to this guy, a few words and a very kind of questionable moral code that attracted me to the character. And I looked at Star Wars like a western in space, so I think that character fitted in very well. But over the years, he has kind of garnered a reputation as being kind of a stupid kind of character. I don't. I love him. I grew up on the Dark Horse comics. I loved him in Shadows of the Empire. He was a villain in the Shadows of the Empire. He was a boss in the Shadows of the Empire video game. So just I genuinely had a kind of a like and a kind of soft spot for the character. Again, I think he is this kind of classic Western anti-hero in this Star Wars saga. But going back, this might be a way for him to bolster his credibility among Star Wars fans, because, as I said before, a lot of Star Wars fans see him as this very vapid character. So there is that. I genuinely hope that they give him something to do and kind of show the dichotomy of him versus the Mandalorian. A chap, Boba Fett, it's been revealed in the new kind of the new expanded universe and canon that he's not a Mandalorian. Uh, his father Django stole the armor from a Mandalorian and took on the guise. So it's going to be like a kind of Coke versus Pepsi thing, where you have an actual Mandalorian versus this faker. But I do think that Fett will kind of will give the Mandalorian a run for his money. Um, I don't see the Mandalorian dispatching him easily. If he turns up in one episode, it might come to a stalemate, and he'll call he'll kind of make him back off. I do think that the Mandalorian is going to call into question why Fett is adorning armor that isn't part of his kind of caste or creed. Um, the double edged sword, the negative thing I worry about is that the cool thing about the Mandalorian is it's its own kind of chunk of the Star Wars universe. it steps aside and it doesn't mingle too much in the goings on of the actual Star Wars saga. But I do think that with the kind of reaction to the recent movies, Disney might be kind of going into overdrive and trying to placate Star Wars fans by moving a lot more of the established lore into this kind of into this medium, into this TV show, and kind of maybe introduce more saga characters. I even think Rosaria Dawson is going to be Ahsoka Tano in this series, in series two, so that should be interesting. But do we really want to be bombarding a very cool kind of standalone Star Wars show with stuff from the main kind of universe, with characters from the kind of the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy? I don't know. Again, Ahsoka isn't from the kind of any of the trilogies, but she is kind of solid kind of Star Wars canon and Jedi lore and stuff. So are they going to be pushing in that direction? Obviously with the child, obviously with Baby Yoda, they are going to have to be dealing with elements of the kind of the Jedi Knights and such forth. But again, I like the reason I like the Mandalorian is the same reason I like Fett. It's a western in space. It's a very thematic kind of western, Sergio Leone-esque western. And I think if they start bringing in too many elements from the movies, the established movies, and the kind of main series and movie universe, that it'll detract from the very spaghetti western vibe. So hopefully not. And again, I am interested to see how they integrate Fett into this. And I can see the Mandalorian questioning and not only coming into conflict because chances are we're going to see Moff Gideon maybe hire Fett. He says, well, maybe I need someone who's Mandalorian like to go after the Mandalorian, and then the two are going to be obviously facing off against each other, and I can see that the Mandalorian is going to be like, you're a fucking faker, and I'm going to kill you just for that, not only for coming after me and the child. But that's just speculation. I don't know. I can't see them teaming up, but I can definitely see a kind of conflict between them. I just hope that this isn't the kind of crack in the dam that's going to let a flood of other kind of mainstream Star Wars characters or main saga characters into the show, because for me that would detract from what makes the show so good. So, what do you guys think? Are you happy to hear or see that Boba Fett is going to be turning up, or Ahsoka? What do you think that they're going to be introducing more kind of more saga-esque characters into the universe? And do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? And do you think that Disney, with the recent kind of dislike for the latter new Star Wars movies, that they're hedging their bets with the Mandalorian, and this is kind of them putting their eggs into this basket in the movies? Let me know in the comments below, and yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.